Welcome to the Friday Night Campfire Stories. My name is Rob and I will once again be your host for this evening. Here on the channel we try to keep our weeks as creepy, dark, and eerie as possible. And I try to do my best to do that for you guys every single Friday when I share one chapter from one of the stories that I've created. However, we try to keep our weeks as creepy as possible, and although my stories may be scary or eerie, they're not real. They're works of fiction that I've made up in my own head. But every single Wednesday, we dive into the true terrors of this world. Events that happen to people just like you and me in every single day life, to people who least expect it. So I'd like to welcome you to my series, Far From Fiction. Real quick before we get going into this video, I would like to say this is the last week of January, and if you've been subscribed, then you would know. Been trying to get to 50 subscribers by the end of the month. We are very, very close, but we're also running out of time, so I need you guys' help. If you guys could head down below the video and just click that subscribe button real quick, it would mean the world to me. But I don't want to take up any more of your time. Let's get into this week's Far From Fiction. On a sweltering summer day in 1965, the serene shores of Wanda Beach became the backdrop for one of Australia's most haunting unsolved mysteries: the brutal slayings of Marianne Schmidt and Christine Sharrock. This episode of Far From Fiction delves into the chilling details of the Wanda Beach Murders, unraveling the known timeline and exploring the shadows where possible suspects lurk. January 11th, 1965 was oppressively hot, with temperatures soaring and a dry northerly wind sweeping across Sydney, Australia. 15-year-old best friends Marianne Schmidt and Christine Sharrock sought respite from the heat, deciding to visit Wanda Beach, a secluded spot near Cronulla. Accompanied by Marianne's younger siblings, the group embarked on what was meant to be a carefree outing. Upon arrival, the girls left their belongings near the surf club and ventured into the sand dunes, seeking privacy from the bustling shoreline. This decision led them into a labyrinth of dunes where they would encounter a fate more sinister than anyone could have ever imagined. The following day, a local man stumbled upon the harrowing scene: the lifeless bodies of Marianne and Christine partially buried in the sand. The brutality of the attack was evident. Marianne's throat had been viciously slashed, and she had suffered multiple stab wounds. Christine had been bludgeoned, her skull fractured, and she too had been stabbed numerous times. Both girls bore signs of attempted sexual assault, their underwear cut, yet hymens remained intact. Semen was found on both victims, indicating the perpetrator's depravity. Detectives faced a perplexing scene. A 34-meter drag mark suggested Christine had attempted to flee, but was overpowered and dragged back to Marianne's side. Despite an exhaustive search, the murder weapons, a long knife, and a blunt instrument, were never recovered. Tons of sand were shifted, yielding items like a blood-stained knife blade, but no definitive link to the crime emerged. Witnesses provided fragmented accounts. Marianne's brother Wolfgang recalled seeing a teenage boy hunting crab near the girls, but his depiction varied over time, casting doubt on their reliability. Another witness, fireman Dennis Dostine, saw the girls hurried walking north of the surf club, one frequently glancing over the shoulder as if sensing they were being followed. Despite these leads, the elusive surfy youth was never identified. The days leading up to the murder saw the beach to be quite a hot spot for the girls and their families. 10 days prior, on January 1st, the two girls visited the beach, which was a popular picnic spot for Marianne's family. Marianne had kept a diary and wrote in it every single day up until the murders happened. When they visited January 1st, they wrote about her and Christine kissing some boys while they were on the beach, although they didn't give any names or ages of them. The next day, Marianne and her siblings would go back to the beach without Christine. Marianne's mom did not go because she was admitted into the hospital. On January 9th, Marianne asked her mom who was still in the hospital if her and Christine could take the kids to the beach the next day. Her mom granted permission, however, it rained on the next day, which was January 10th, causing them to postpone their trip till the 11th. They had made there on the 11th, and they had spent the morning there and had a picnic. However, the weather turned for the worse. It was extremely windy, and the beach was actually shut down. The kids complained and wanted to go home, so Christine and Marianne agreed. Or so they told them they would agree. They told them to wait by the surf club, under cover from the weather, and they would go retrieve their bags they hid under some rocks. However, they did not go the right way. The younger boy, Patrick, actually called out to them and said that they were going the wrong way, to which the girls laughed off and continued walking in their direction. It was also important to note that Christine had left the group for some time while they were at the beach. It is unknown why she had left the group or what she was doing, but she was separated there for a little while. The kids waited by the surf club for 4 hours until 5 p.m., when they had no other choice than to catch the last train home. They retrieved their bags, including Christine and Marianne's purses, that had been untouched, and they went home. They made it home at 8, and the girls were reported missing at 8:30 by the kids' grandmother. The next afternoon, Peter Schmidt was taking his 3 nephews to the beach when they were walking around when Peter saw what looked like a mannequin with his head sticking in the ground, only to find out this was not a mannequin, but it was a dead body. It's during the investigation that I begin to have an idea of what could have taken place to these girls. When the toxicology report came back, Marianne showed nothing out of the normal. However, Christine had came back with a blood alcohol level of 0.015, which obviously isn't a crazy amount, but for a 15-year-old there shouldn't be anything in her system. This leads me to believe that when Christine had left the group when they were at the beach, she must have met someone. Maybe it was someone from their prior trip to the beach, possibly one of the guys that she was kissing. They could have lured her away with the promise of alcohol, which they did give her. However, it's possible that their plan didn't take place right then and there, knowing that maybe Marianne had known who offered her alcohol and where she was or who the guy was. This led him to say, hey, why don't you get your friend over here as well so we all can drink together. After this, she looked for any excuse to get the two of them to break off from the kids to go meet up with this guy. When they left the kids at the surf club, they went the opposite direction to meet up with this man. However, instead of more alcohol, he ended the poor lives of these 2 young girls. It is important to note that I am not an investigator, wasn't a part of this case at all, wasn't even born yet, so I can't say this is 100% what happened, but to me it kind of does make the most sense. But that does lead us to the bigger question that I don't have an answer for, and that is, who was the murderer? Over the years, several individuals have fallen under suspicion of being the murderer of this case. First, there was Alan Bassett, convicted in 1966 for the rape and murder of Carolyn Orphan. Bassett gifted a painting titled A Bloody Awful Thing to former detective Sec Johnson. Johnson believed the abstract artwork depicted details only the Wanda Beach killer would have known, including the blood trail and the broken knife blade. Despite Johnson's conviction, others detectives remained skeptical, and Bassett's connection to the murders remains unproven. Then there's Christopher Wilder, known as the Beauty Queen Killer. Wilder had a history of sexual violence, including a 1963 gang rape on a Sydney beach. He immigrated to the U.S. in 1969, where he committed a series of murders in 1984 before dying during a police confrontation. While his violent tendencies and presence in Sydney during the 1960s make him a suspect, no concrete evidence links him to the Wanda Beach case. Then there's Derek Percy, imprisoned in 1969 for the murder of a child on a Victorian beach. Percy was considered a prime suspect in several child murders, including the Wanda Beach murders. He was in the vicinity at the time of the murders, but no definitive links were established. Percy took any secrets to the grave, though, passing away from cancer in 2013 without confession. Despite interviewing over 7,000 individuals, the largest investigation in Australian history at the time yielded no arrest. In 2012, a weak male DNA sample was extracted from Christine Shorts, offering a glimmer of hope. However, advancements in technology had not yet proven a breakthrough. Compounding the challenges, a crucial semen sample taken from Marianne's body was reported lost in 2014, a setback that deepened the mystery. As we reflect on the chilling case, the sands of Wanda Beach remain silent, holding tight to their secrets. The tragic tale of Marianne Schmidt and Christine Sharrock serve as a somber reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the sunniest of days, and in the enduring quest for justice that continues to this day. So that is going to do it for today. I hope that you guys did enjoy this true crime case. If you did, be sure to head down and click that subscribe button. Also click that like button. Both will mean a lot to me. Like I said earlier, we're trying to get to 50 subscribers by the end of the month, which is this Friday. So if you guys can help me out, it would mean the absolute world to me. We make 3 videos every single week. Every single Monday, we do an episode of Echoes of the Past, which is my paranormal series where we look into the history of paranormal events that have taken place and some of these locations and the hauntings that happen at these locations. Also, every single Wednesday, of course, we do an episode of Far From Fiction, what we're doing now. And then every Friday, usually we do an episode of the Friday Night Campfire Stories. However, this is one of those months where there are 5 Fridays, and so there will not be a new chapter this Friday, but there will be a very big announcement that I'd love for you guys to check out and be a part of. So if you could, head there on Friday, normal time, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 6 Pacific time. So you guys can check that out. It'd mean a lot to me. So like I said earlier, that will do it. Click that like button. Click that subscribe button. We'll see y'all next time. And as always, thank you for spending a little bit of your day here with me.